disclosure, I do work for a mining company, so everything I say is likely suspect. But let's dig into Jihan Wu, what he's doing with Bitdeer. Bitdeer is a spinoff of Bitmain. Bitmain is one of the most important firms in Bitcoin historically. Why? Well, they have been involved with a few things in terms of Bitcoin's development over the few years, including the block size wars. There's a lot of different things going on here. We'll get to it in just a second.
And now, Will's History Corner with Will Foxley.
Wow.
So dignified.
Wow.
Pretty good, right? I wish I actually had a robe like that at home. Okay, let's back up the truck a little bit. Let's talk about this story. So headline, according to our friends over at Bloomberg, David Pan, is that Bitdeer is leveraging up a fund, $250 million. They're throwing $50 million of their own money into the pot. They're trying to get about $200 million from other players to scoop up distressed assets in Bitcoin mining land. Bitcoin mining, like everything else in the market right now, is down 70, 80, 90% in some cases. And so there's a lot of cheap assets to go cherry pick which ones you want to gobble up. I think this guy knows it. Jihan Wu has been in the game for quite a while. He is notorious, including some of his most famous tweets, really set a precedent for what it means to be a Bitcoin entrepreneur out there. And he knows how these market cycles work. He's going to town, going to buy up some distressed assets to build Bitdeer going into the next bull cycle. Bitdeer itself is a spinoff, like I said, from Bitmain. They made about $5.6 billion in revenue last year, so pretty successful firm. Zach, I'll throw it over to you.
All right, so I'm a mining small brain, SMOL. Help me out here. So when we're talking assets, are we talking like buying Bitcoin from miners who are looking to pay bills? Are we talking about buying machines that miners are looking to unload to pay bills? Like, what are we talking about? Do you have any sort of understanding of what Jihan is buying with this new fund?
Yeah, it could be a lot of different things. Probably not Bitcoin, because there's not going to be necessarily much of a discount. I think in years past, you might have seen that, right? Where maybe you come to some agreement on like a higher cost basis for buying Bitcoin, but there's so many exchanges out there. Now it's about all these machines. It's about these future orders for machines. It's for infrastructure. It's for facilities. It's for handyman on sites. It's for operational people. It's for software that run these mines. And there's a lot of infrastructure that goes into these things, and people overbuilt during the bull market thinking that it was only up only. I think to a degree, the Bitcoin miners were probably really buying into the super cycle theory from Su Zhu. They got caught up in that. They built too much, and now they're selling a lot. So it's not only that Bitdeer is going after this. There's a few other miners out there like CleanSpark that are doing a similar thing. Jen, I'll throw it over to you.
Okay, I also have a question, and I'm sorry if it doesn't make sense, but here goes. So last week, Bitmain tweeted that they were reducing the prices on some of their machines, and now I read this story, and it seems contradictory to me. I don't know if you can kind of help me. Have I made a wrong connection by trying to connect these two stories?
No, it's a good connection. So Bitmain, like I said at the beginning, is like one of the largest Bitcoin firms in history of Bitcoin, like very short history of Bitcoin, very important firm. They basically have a monopoly on holding Bitcoin mining machines, producing Bitcoin mining machines, and selling them to the market. And now they are going to undercut the larger market. They're discounting their basic model by about 30%, while all these other liquid exchanges are out there for secondary selling of ASICs. Bitmain's going to come in and just drop ASICs for really cheap. That's going to put more pressure down on Bitcoin miners to sell their assets for even cheaper, and then Bitdeer can come in and just swoop up. So I'm kind of like the Celsius story at the beginning, or like any other stories we've seen over the last few weeks. A lot of companies are selling all their assets that they had pumped up during the bull market for really, really cheap right now. And there's going to be continued undercutting based on who was the first producer of an asset. If you can produce an asset for the cheapest, and you're still making money even if you're selling it for nothing, right? Even if you're selling it very, very low. And then you're putting pressure on everyone else and wiping them out, and then you can come up and gobble them up and buy them out of the store. So good to put those two stories together. Great context.
I just want to see the graphic again. Can we see the graphic again, Control? Can we please see the graphic again? Oh, Control is bringing it up. Stand by. All right, I'm standing.
And now, Will's History Corner with Will Foxley.
Amazing.
Good
Amazing.
stuff.
It's got like
I like
Michael
the map.
Saylor vibes, like with the little like the ship in the background, you know?